If you are not planning on coming to live in or visit Japan, today's topics are probably still going to be interesting to you. If you are planning on coming to live in or visit here, this is a list of things for you to consider about Japan. You may end up saying, nah, about Japan. Or, on the other hand, you may end up like me saying, yeah, this is the place for me. Without further ado, let's get rolling. Number one, if you like driving fast, Japan is probably not the place for you. On the roads that don't have a speed limit marked, the speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. So open spaces, fields, rice fields all around you. Yeah. The speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour, which is, translated for us miles only minded people, is 37.3 miles per hour. 37.3 miles per hour. Yeah. Open spaces, rice fields. 37.3 miles per hour. That's the speed limit. 60 kilometers per hour. And if you drive 10 kilometers over that, you are now going 43.5 miles per hour. Open spaces. Oh, I guess you're actually going. Lovely weather. You better enjoy the scenery, because you aren't going to be able to drive too fast without getting in trouble, without the possibility of getting yourself in trouble. And then let me tell you about our expressway. Our expressway, there's one expressway in this area, and its speed limit is usually 70 kilometers per hour. I give this sign because that's the shape of the speed limit signs. It's usually 70 kilometers per hour. The expressway, the fast road, 70 kilometers per hour. And I say usually because actually they're digital. So the speed limit does change depending on the weather. But usually it's 70 kilometers per hour. And I just told you what 70 kilometers per hour is. It's 43.5 miles per hour. It's not even 45 miles per hour. It's 43.5 miles per hour. 43.5 miles per hour. That's the speed limit on the big expressway. You're out in the country. You got separated lanes. You're just driving along the mountains, and you got to enjoy the mountains, enjoying the springtime, the blooming flowers on the hills and stuff. Yeah, 70 kilometers per hour. And even if you decide to go 10 kilometers over that and go 80 kilometers per hour, that would be 50 miles per hour. Yeah, if you like driving fast, Japan would not be the place for you, I'm sorry to say. If you are afraid of earthquakes and volcano eruptions, Japan may not be the place for you, because this place is made of volcanoes. They are, I've seen over the years on the news how they are waiting for the big earthquake it's going to hit in the next 30 years. In the next 30 years, a big gigantic earthquake is going to hit like the Tokyo area or that part of the country. Of course, they've been saying it the last 5 years that I have been listening to the news that it's going to hit in the next 30 years. So I don't know exactly when it's going to be. Earthquakes, big earthquakes, and volcanoes do erupt. I lived in a place before where there was an unexpected volcano eruption and a bunch of people were killed because it was the kind of eruption that couldn't be predicted for some reason. You have to look at the science yourself if you want to know. But so, you're afraid of volcanoes, you're afraid of earthquakes, this may not be the place to be for you. So I'm just sitting here the other day watching TV, and then all of a sudden my phone starts buzzing, but the TV's on, and so I kind of only vaguely pay attention to it. And this is what came across on my phone that says, "Emergency earthquake alert. In the sea outside of Yamagata, an earthquake has occurred. Be prepared for a strong quake." But I couldn't read it because the quaking was already happening. It was shaking like I don't remember ever feeling before. I've been in quite a few earthquakes over the years, but this, for me, was perhaps the strongest one that I have felt. And it actually caused quite a bit of damage down the road. But no one was killed or anything like that. It was a 6.7 or 6.8 earthquake at the epicenter, which had to be a bit of a ways away from here, but I know that someone on the other side of Japan, over on the ocean side of Japan, we're on the seaside, said that he felt it over there on his side of the country as well. Not as strongly as we did, of course, but so yeah, shook us up a little bit. And so it wasn't as bad as it could be. But yeah, just so you know, this is where we live, Japan. It's a land built of volcanoes, so obviously earthquakes are going to happen sometimes, and volcanoes are going to explode sometimes. If you're coming here, be prepared for that. But it's okay. It's still survivable, usually. If you are a person who has to have a lot of counter space and cabinet space in your kitchen for cooking, then this may not be the place for you. Because in my experience, in every place that I've lived in, the counter space has been about this much space. Enough for my drying dishes, and that's about it. Now what I've done is I've used my kitchen table as my workspace. Yeah, I make it look like I chop vegetables a lot and stuff, but yeah, I'm not much of a cook myself, but yeah, counter space, nixorixo in Japano. If you are a type of person who must have a clothes dryer, then Japan may not be the place for you, because they typically just hang their clothes outside to dry, or in the inside the building as well to dry. I use clothes dryers. If you're expecting to have a clothes dryer, you can pay the big bucks and get one. But if you're going to work for an English school or something like that, chances are very highly likely that you are not going to have a clothes dryer. And that's not just Japan, by the way. There are many places that I've lived that have been like that, so I didn't have a dryer. This looks like I wrote, if you want a typical American style men, but it says oven, doesn't say men. If you're looking for a typical American style oven because you like to bake a lot, then yeah, it's going to be different. What you may be supplied in your apartment, if you have an apartment supplied with the company that you're going to be working with, is a microwave that can also be used as an oven. That's common in my experience, maybe because we're Americans. I don't know if if that's typical for Japanese as well, but they have this like big oven that you're used to. No, not likely. Reality is Japan is a mighty interesting place. I have a bunch more interesting things to tell you, but more about that in a later video. If you have listened this far, first of all, thank you. And then I want to tell you a little secret. Yeah, it's really little. Here it is. Well, though it may not look like it, I actually cleaned my kitchen before I recorded for you. I even straightened out my table and stuff, But I watched the video and I saw, wow, I did a really lousy job. The more I think about it, maybe I really should spend a little bit of time straightening this place out a little bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you convinced me. All right, here I go.